I'm the secretary of the board, and so if you ever are unhappy with what was said on the summary of the meetings, don't go to the people. Anybody else, just come to me and ask me what I meant first by what I wrote. I've been an amateur for almost 50 years, exactly 50 years now.
You're
and
old.
Pardon?
You must be old.
Yes, I am. I think older than you, I'm not sure. I met Bruce Kelly in 1993, 94, I think. And that's when I got back into amateur radio. I would like to say that, and I'm an educator, I'm not in engineering, although another factoid about Rochester is that for a good while, Rochester had the highest percentage of engineers in the United States for a small metropolitan area. And that has stayed. It's very, very stable here. This is probably the best place to put this sort of museum in the United States. Another little fact that you all know, but to put it into context, we have so much equipment, we cannot fail. What do you do with all that equipment? We will go forward, and it will be something. The town of Bloomfield, by the way, was founded in 1789, the year of the French Revolution. And it's one of the oldest towns in this part of New York. In terms of the museum, we are connected with the Regents of the state of New York, and that is a buzzword in New York for education. The college I teach for gives it's a private independent school, but it grants its degrees through the State University of New York, the SUNY system. So any student going to our private school thinks that they're getting an Nazareth College degree. They're not. They're getting one ultimately through the state of New York. We are an arm of the state of New York educational system. So we have this task, we have this job, we have this mission. And we have a great problem in America, as you all know, and that is we have a dwindling number of engineers, young people becoming engineers. And the much worse problem, young ladies being interested in engineering. So we have our work cut out for us. This is something that didn't seem to be on our radar screen 20 years ago, 15 years ago. But it really, really is our big, big job as a museum, as all museums need to do. So we have a lot going for us. And so when we go out and spread the vision and spread the dream, there is something that everyone, all of your friends, all of your compatriots in radio world can sign on to with good cause. So it's going to be a hard job, but I think it's going to be a fun job, and in some ways an easy job.
Great, thanks, Bill. Other questions, comments? Tom?
One of the reasons that I take a second seat over here is that these are the guys that have to do the work day by day. And the other reason is that I have a number of areas that are in my background and that I'm working on right now that can give support to this project from experience from other organizations. So I thought I'd mention a couple of them because I'm very involved in MIT, and I'm a member of their development committee that advises the president as to how to raise money, etc. I'm a member of their MIT Museum committee, and also their libraries, which relates to a number of the areas that we need expertise in preservation and storage and things like that we expect to improve greatly. I'm also on the board of the Bakken Museum in Minneapolis, which is actually their their goal is to be able to generate engineers to work at Medtronics, which is in their area, because they were having problems finding even people to run factory machinery that had any knowledge of electricity and magnetism and what they should be doing. So the combination of those gives me, in one case, a conflict, because we're not necessarily competing, but I try not to put too much of my influence, but to give my guidance and experience from the other organizations. But I'm totally impressed with what's been done in the last 3 years. And the volunteers are the key to this whole project. If we had to go out and hire people to run the museum or to give the lectures or anything like that, we'd have probably a disaster. And so that's why I think we're doing things the right way, we're doing it in a timely way, and we're making sure that it's fiscally responsible as well. So with that, unless there's any other questions. Yeah.
I'd like to pose a question to the members, not to say the museum isn't important, but the dues part of the AWA is primarily my responsibility. And my charter given to me when I got this job was to maintain what we had, or if you will, the old club attributes of the conference or convention, the review, and the journal. Well, I'm not sure that doing it the way we've always done it is the best way for the future. So I'd like to pose the question of what the people here would like to see in the way of any change in membership services. I have ideas, but if I put them out there, then I'm not going to hear yours. So I'd like anybody in the audience to talk about what they think we should be doing in the way of membership services.
Or if you prefer, you can attack them privately afterwards.
Just one comment, and I'm not sure I'm a life member, so I don't mail in dues anymore, but for those that pay on a yearly basis, maybe an additional line on the membership renewal form for the museum fund, and maybe you already have that, I don't know, because when the guy has his checkbook or lady has his checkbook, checking that and giving some extra money to help support what you're doing kind of makes it seamless. And you're getting them kind of at the right time. The other thing that I was thinking about as other comments were stated, and I'm not sure how successful they've been in doing it, but I'm also a life member of ARL, and I contribute to like the education fund. It's one of my top ones, where the money goes to schools and things like that. So I don't know what mechanism they use other than mailings, and I get a mailing from ARL probably once every 6 months asking for additional support. And maybe there's something that can be learned from how they do it based on how successful that they've been. And, you know, because it's a key part of it. But I think that extra line on the membership card is good.
Great.
So just a thought. Thank you.
Well, there was another hand.
Let me answer your specific question, because I already have something in the work which many other organizations do, and that is classes of membership that have to do with the membership dues partially being a tax-deductible donation. I belong to several organizations where there's a basis of between $25 and $50 that's not tax-deductible because you get something for that. But then you can go up to life membership, and there's tax deductions associated with those payments because it's really a contribution. So I'm planning on introducing such a concept in our classes of membership at the next board meeting. I've already told the board that I'm working on an idea, so that's one I have. That means you can make a tax-deductible donation when you pay your dues. Right now, for example, the life membership is not tax-deductible because you're paying for your dues membership. So that is something I've already started to think about.